Hi friends, my name is Anurag. Welcome to the VLSI training channel. So today we are going to discuss how we can write a Verilog code for AND gate and how we can write test bench for the AND gate. So so before moving further, I would like to introduce this channel. So this is my first video and this is related to Verilog, system Verilog and UVM. So as we all know, nowadays, taking training in VLSI will cost too much. Anyone, if you will go to take training in VLSI fields, basically, so they will ask you for a huge amount. It might be near about between 70,000 to 1 lakh, basically. And I'm not saying particular for VLSI domain for particular. I'm talking about one domain. So in one domain, if you go, they will ask for this much amount, basically. So I thought I should make videos on VLSI related to those things which are not available on YouTube's, basically, which is not available free of cost, you can say. So there are videos available on YouTube which are very less, actually, you will say. So they are not properly given. So there will be one topic or two topic and three topics will be there only. So according to that, videos are available. But I would like to try I would like to make videos in a proper sequence, or I would try to cover all the topics, basically. In VLSI fields, basically, there are certain areas where you can go and you can make your career, like design engineer is there, then verification engineer is there, physical design part is also there, analog and layout part is also there. So there are certain areas where you can go and you can make your career. What videos you will get on this channel and how you can make your career in a village cycle. Basically, I'm a verification engineer, so I'm going to guide you how you can make your career in particular village site domain in verification as a verification engineer. Basically, now you can see there are part of front end and back end in VLSI. So those things you will get to know when you will see my remaining videos. I'm not going to talk too much about those things right now. What I'm going to talk is if you want to make your career in verification domain, then how you can approach. So suppose that if you are a fresher, if you're coming out from a college and you don't have any idea how you can make your career in VLSI fields, then we can discuss that thing. But I would like to discuss those things to the end of this videos, basically. Now our primary focus will be like how we are going to create, how you can write a code for AND gate and how you can write a design for AND gate. So let's start our presentation, or you can say this video. And if you like my videos, you can subscribe my channel, and I will try to cover everything, whatever things are present in VLSI, like in verification domain particularly. So there we can discuss those things. Moving further, so this is the agenda for our discussion. We are going to discuss about the AND gate, how you can write the Verilog code for this. Let's move further. Okay, so before moving further, just I would like to tell you these things, basically. So if you are coming out from a college, there are certain things which you can learn if you want to make your career in verification domain. First thing is digital electronics. So suppose that if you want to come in this field, so digital part of yours should be very strong. Everything, whatever you are going to code or you are going to verify, everything that digital learning is the base for them. Here we are going to discuss everything related to digital. So in this domain, even for if you want to go for designing purpose also. So for that also you need this part. You need digital electronics basically. So the only thing you should know digital part, and there are analog electronics also. So if you want to make, there are certain areas. So if you want to make your career in those domains, then analog electronics should also come. But right now we our focus will be for verification engineer. So because of that, I am telling you, you should know digital electronics. Second part is Verilog. So Verilog is a language. Basically, this is a kind of design language, and we do verification also with this language. But verification doing Verilog is very tough kind of. How they are tough and how they are different from the system Verilog or UVM, we are going to discuss in the further videos. Definitely, I am going to post those videos, and you will be able to get the all idea how the things are different in Verilog, system Verilog, or in UVM. Now, third is system Verilog. So system Verilog is also another verification language or design language also you can say. This is a basically combination of hardware description language and a verification language. So with this language you can design as well as you can verify things also. Next is thing is UVM. So UVM is also one of the important methodology right now. In these days we are basically mostly we are working on UVM part. So if the things you want to verify in industry, they are using UVM. Because of why we are using UVM, one of the most important feature of this is reusability. The things related to UVM also we will discuss further. And if you want to, so next part is protocols. There are certain protocols APB, HB, XIA, ISPI, RSC. If you will be having some idea of these protocols, then it will be great for you if you want to make your career in UV cycles in basically verification field. It's okay, we will see these things. Basically, why I kept this slide here. My motto is to create videos related to these things. So if anyone is interested in the verification area, so these are the things which I am going to post here related to these things only. You can see those videos here. In further videos, you will get to know these things basically. So coming back, uh, let's discuss how we can design or how we can write a code for AND gate. Before moving further, how we can write these things or how we can write a code for AND gate, there are few things which we should know. First thing, I would like to tell you this code we are going to write in Verilog. So there is a way how to write code in Verilog. There is a way how to write code in C. Even each language is having their own ways how you can write the codes and how you can do the things in particular that language. So AND gate we are going to write into the Verilog language. In Verilog language basically. So this is the way how you can write the codes here. Basically, whenever you are going to write code, first thing is your code will be enclosed within the module and end module. Later on, you will have to give a name of that module. These things we are going to discuss with code also. So for just this is a template kind of thing you can understand right now, and later we can discuss those things basically. What are module names? How you can write the module names, and what are the other things in here basically. Now, see. So first thing is module, then we'll give the module name, and later on we can give the terminal list. What are the terminal lists? Those things also we'll go to discuss in the further slides. Till this point, you will have to understand what are the way how you can write a simple code into the Verilog. That's it. Now after module terminal list, there is a module internals. Module internals is nothing but exactly what it does. Any design if you are going to write, so what it does, that part will come inside the module internals. So suppose that we are going to write a code for AND gate. So AND gate what it does, it takes two inputs. If both inputs will be 1, then the output will be given 1. So that logic will be written inside the module internals basically. Now later on, this module will be closed with end module. So now any code if you write that will be written within the module and end module, and how you can write the things in module and end modules we are going to discuss in the further slides. So let's move to the further slide. Okay, so before moving further, we we have to understand how what are the different ways how we can code into the Verilog. So these are the ways. There are four ways to write the Verilog codes for any design, anything like AND gate or gate, even for AND gate and adders, subtractors, etc. So whatever combinational or sequential designs are there, they can be written with these level of abstractions. We'll discuss these things in upcoming videos basically, but right now just I'm going to give you idea how we can write the codes, and if you are writing any codes then that code can be written in how many ways. So my point is this only, to make you understand there are not a single way to code the things. You can write a single code, sorry, yeah, you can write a single design with different types. So those things are basically known as a level of abstraction. So there is a first level of abstraction, behavioral model, then we have data flow model, then we have gate level model, and then we have switch level model. So now time being, just you need to understand we are not going to use switch level model. Here we will use only gate level model, data flow model, and behavioral model. What are those things basically? I can just give you the example, or I can explain you here itself, but I don't want to go into the deep because our topic is AND gate and how you can write a code for AND design and how you can verify that thing particularly. So I'm not going too much deep into this, but just I will give you a brief idea what are the things. So in gate level models basically we have primitives. Those primitives are used basically to design the gate level model. Now what are the primitives we are going to discuss later. Right now just you have to understand in gate level we use basically primitives, and with the help of primitives we get the output. Now second, coming to the, we have data flow model. So now in data flow model we know how the data will flow. So this is the way where we use, in this case we use assign keyword to design our models. In deep further I will say we are going to discuss later. Don't worry about that. I'm going to post videos related to that. Just for time being, you have to understand there are level of abstractions which are gate level, data flow level, and then behavioral model, and yes, switch level modeling. But right now we are not using switch level model basically. So in behavioral model, basically we understand how just we know the behavior of the design and just we code basically. So those things we'll see later through the with the help of the codes also. Don't worry about that. So coming to the next slide. Okay, so this is the gate level model. So before moving gate level modeling, just understand this is gate test bench. Okay, so next is gate level data flow model. Okay, so I would like to tell you we are going to see first gate level modeling, then data flow modeling, and then how you can model behavioral model for AND gate. Now, why you will be having question why on this page on data flow modeling? Okay, so my point is just I want to you guys to show that this is the AND gate diagram. There will be two input and one output. A and B are the inputs and Y will be the output. And this is the truth table for AND gate. If both inputs will be 0, then the output will be 0. And if both inputs will be 1, and then only inputs will be 1. And this is the only case where the input will be 1. So just I wanted to show you these things only. And according to this, we are going to code our design. So for the gate level, let's see. Here we see. As I told you in the previous slide, we are going to write our code inside the module second line and in and module block basically. So your first line will be module, and later on, see, if you go to the previous slide, here you can see we have declared module first, and then we have declared module name, and then we have terminal list. So just try to relate with this thing. Basically, what we have given here is module, and then we have given a module name, and that is nothing, just AND gate. And these are the things, terminals. So you will be wondering why, what are the terminals basically? So terminals are nothing, they are just input and output signals basically of that gate basically. So if I'm talking about that two input AND gate, so there are two inputs basically, A and B, and then we have one output, that is Y. I have shown you the diagram of AND gate and then truth table of that. According to that we can take, so A and B is their input and Y is output. So these are the basically terminals. Now explicitly you can declare what are the input and output signal of these designs. So in gate level modeling, just I have given a small idea here. I have written input A and B and then output is Y. So clearly here I have mentioned this is the input signal for AND gate and Y is the output signal for AND gate. Now in gate level modeling I told you that we are going to use primitive. So primitives are nothing. They are just these keywords basically. You can see here AND. Now for AND gate we have AND primitive. For OR gate we have OR primitive. And for NOT gate we have OR primitive. These kind of things are there and these are the primitives. So if you'll go, you can search those things, what are the primitives, you can get more idea. I'll try to cover in upcoming videos. I'm going to just give you the complete idea how what are the primitives, how you can write the things. So basically in gate level modeling, just we'll use the primitive and is the primitive. Here we are going to give the what are the input signals and output signals. So I will be the output signal and then A and B is the input signal. So that's it. And later on we can use the AND module. This will be the design of AND gate, two input AND gate. So there is nothing to do with, you don't have to worry about how you can code or code the things basically. Now you can see, again I'm going to just recall it. If you are going to write any code, you will have to declare first module, then you have to give a module name, basically that is called that is called module name. Yes, in previous slides we can see there. And then we have the terminals. What are the terminals of input? That design basically. So all the terminals, input output terminals, we are going to write here. So in gate level modeling, we can write these things, input and outputs explicitly. We can give the idea what are the input basically and what are the outputs here. And then while using primitives, you can see what is the basically output of this. Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. So using primitive, we can see, we can design our code basically. Here we can give the output and then we can give the inputs. What are the inputs? And then we can close the, we can use this AND module, which is used for the closing purpose of module block. So this will be the end of your design. This is your AND gate by using gate level modeling. So now we are going to see two things: how we are going to code the design and how we are going to verify the design. So there are two areas in VLSI domain. First is design engineer and second is verification engineer. I am a verification engineer, so my areas are to verify designs. Design engineer will design. So suppose that I have written this code. So I have designed this code. Now, what will be the responsibility of verification engineer? Verification engineer's responsibility will be to verify your design. Whatever design we have written, we are going to verify and we are going to check that those things are working properly or not. So how we are going to check is, we know basically how AND gate works basically. So there are two inputs. We are going to give the different inputs on those ports basically. Ports are input ports and output ports, basically signals you can see, you can say. So we are going to give the different input signals and then we are going to see that whether we are going to get, getting the exact answers or not. Like if suppose that your both inputs are 0, then the output should be 0. So this condition we are going to check into the verification part, whether if suppose that we are giving two zeros, like a we are giving 0 and b are also we are giving 0, so are we getting y is a 0 or something else we are getting? So this is the kind of verification we are going to do there. So let's understand the part. So this was the part basically where we have designed the code. Now we are going to see how you can write, how you can verify it basically. So for verification, uh, we write basically the test bench. Generally, we say it test bench. So there is a way how we can write the test bench, and how we can write the test bench. Basically, there are certain rules, and then there are some uh, other things which we should keep in mind, and how you can display the things and everything. These are the part of Verilog basically. So when we are going to see videos related to Verilog, I am going to post those videos. Definitely, you will get a very good understanding of that. But here I have used few things, few keywords, few system functions, which you will have to use in the same way if you want to code any design, or if you want to verify any small design. So for that you will have to use in the same way. So let's understand how we have written this code and all. So first line where, okay, so now we have given a module and then module name. Here we are terminals, we are going to keep it empty. For test bench, why we have kept it empty we'll going to discuss later, don't worry about that. But for time being, just understand we need to keep it empty. Now your input signals in test bench will be declared as a res. So this res is nothing, this is a data type in Verilog. We'll see what are the data types in Verilog, how they works, and what are the default values or of theirs. Don't worry about that. For time being, just understand what is res, what is wire, and what are the signals which are going to we are going to declare with those basically data types. So input signals are we have declared with reg keyword, and output signals we are going to declare with wire keyword. Just keep it in mind, input signal will declare in reg and output will declare as a wire. Why we are doing this? Definitely we'll go, whenever we'll move further we'll see the videos. I'm going to tell you definitely. There are basically code connection rules. So that is a part of Verilog. So right now I don't want to take that part into here, and we want to discuss this because this video will go long, and we won't get the exact output what we are looking for. So that in this case we are going to discuss end gate and how we can write the end gate test bench and all. So for time being, just understand input signals we are going to declare with reg keyword, and output we are going to declare with the wire keyword. So in reg and wire, they are the data types in Verilog. Verilogs we are going to discuss later. Don't worry about that. So now this is the design. If you will go back, you will see AND gate. This, so this is the name of the design. We are going to instantiate this design into our test bench. So we have taken AND gate, and then we are going to take a name. Name is a kind of instance you want to take it. Just I have given AND instance. You can give any name about this for this actually. So you can give any name. Now this process is called instantiation. So now we are going to instantiate my design into the test bench. This is the test bench. Design is somewhere else. We want to connect our test bench basically our design with our test bench. So now design is having a signal called A, that is the first input signal. So we are going to connect our A signal with test bench A signal. So right now we have input signals here TA and TB in test bench. So for here you can see this is a way how you connect basically design and test bench signals. So there are different ways also how you can connect. There are named mapping is there, position mapping is there. So those things also we'll see later. But this is a way you can see and how we can connect it, we'll discuss in a brief later. Don't worry about that. But timing, just understand this is a way, this is the one way how we can connect the things basically. So dot A, we are going to connect with the test bench A signal, sorry, test bench TA signal, and then second input we are going to connect with B, and then third input, sorry, not input, this is the output basically. So output we are going to connect with designs output. Now, this part understood. So this, have you understood this part? This is a way which is called the instantiation. Now, what you are doing is you are instantiating your design into the test bench basically. Got it? Yeah. So instantiation. This is called instantiation. Instantiation. This is also part of Verilog. We'll see later what is exact instantiation and what it does basically. But for time being, just understand you have instantiated your design into the test bench by this line. If you will write this line, you can instantiate any design into your test bench. Now, next part is initial and begin and end. Okay, so this is also a way to write the things. If you want to write your test bench or your design, then input parts or you can say where you want to write your functionality, those things will be written inside the initial block basically. There are two types of block, initial block and always block. We are using just initial block here. Instead of initial we can use always also, but now just understand what is this initial block and how the things are written here. So anything if you want to write your logic or something, that will be written into the procedural block. Procedural block is nothing, initial and all of blocks is only known as the procedural blocks. So come to the later part. Okay, so now here we are using begin and end. If you want to use the multiple, if you want to use or if you want to write the multiple statements like see 1 2 3 4 5, these are the multiple statements. So if you want to use the multiple statements, then you can use the begin end. If you want to use only single statement, then there is a no need to use the begin end. Just simply you can write the one statement, that will be enough. After initial you can write the same statement. But if you want to use the multiple statement, then you will have to use begin and the thing will be enclosed, like whatever statements will be there, multiple statements, that will be enclosed within, that should be enclosed within the begin and the block. So initial is nothing, that is a procedural block. You will have to use always. Instead of initial we can use always also, but that is a different part. We'll see later how we can use the different things. So begin and we are going to use for the multiple statements. If you want to use the multiple statements, then we can use these things. Now we have a dollar monitor. So like C, we have printf, scanf, which one takes input, then one it displays basically. So here we have dollar monitor. What it does is, if there will be any changes in the signals, then it will reflect and it will display the value basically. So suppose that you are having two signals, say A and B, say TA and TB. Why TA and TB? Because they are input signals of your test bench. Because of that, I have written just T underscore A, by which you can understand this is related to your test bench signals. So if suppose that you are having two signals, TA and TB, so if there will be any changes on those signals, then monitor will display the things basically. What it will display, it depends upon you what you want to display basically. So this line, just right now understand dollar monitor I am using for display purpose. We are going to see with code also how it will display the value basically. So don't worry about that. We are going to discuss it. Okay, so if you want to display anything, so you will use a dollar monitor and then you can enclose with the brackets basically. Here you can see, and then what we are going to display is the value of TA. Signal TA is there, so we are going to display the value of TA is percentile D. Okay, so the percentile D is the format specifier. There is a percentile D, percentile B, percentile O also is there. So what it does basically, percentile d will display your value in the decimal format. For time being, just understand, if you are going to use percentile d, then it will display your value in decimal. That's it. So first what I have written is the value of TA is percentile d and TB is percentile d. So till this point, what I am trying to do is I am going to display the value of T underscore A and T underscore B. Understood? I hope you are getting my point. So $enter will display the value, but what it display, we have to tell exactly what we are going to display. So inside this, we are going to use TA and TB signals, and those signals we are going to display basically. Now, till percentile D, I hope you guys have understood what percentile D does. Now we have slash T. So, forward slash T is basically this, it will introduce a tab distance basically between these things. So, why I have kept is just I want to give us a small space between the input and output signal. Because of that, I have used, and I will show you how if you will remove your percentile t, then how the value will come, and if you are adding this percentile, sorry, not percentile, that's t, so how it will basically work. That will see into the code. Don't worry about that. Leave it. Now again, if you will move further, then I have written then output ty is percentile t d. So again, now by writing this line, what I'm going to do is just I'm going to display the value of TA, TB, and TY. Those are the signals of test bench basically. What we have done is we have connected our test bench signals to design signals. So through the test bench signal, I have connected my design. So whatever input I am going to apply on the test bench signals, that will be visible to your design. So if suppose that on input signal I will give some value, then it will be visible your design's input also. So if design we are in design, we are going to give some input, it will produce some output, and your design and your test bench output is connected. Try to understand what I'm saying. If you will understand my point, you will get to know what we are going to do is. What I'm trying to say is, from test bench, I have connected my test bench input signal to design input signal. I have connected my design output signal to test bench output signal. Got it? Okay. Now see, if you are giving any input signals in your test bench, those signals are connected with your design. So whatever input you are going to give your test bench, that will be visible to your design. And if design will get any input on both ports basically, so it will produce some output. So here we are going to see the outputs basically, whatever values are coming on the TA, TB and TY. Those things we are going to display here basically. Till this point, this will display the decimal value. Now later on you can say this is a way. So whatever value you want to see for those signals, you will have to give those signals names here. So here you are adding TA, TB and TY. So because of that, you will have to add here TA, TB, TY. Now see, this is hash one, what it does. So hash, with the hash we add some delay basically. Hash is used for the delay purpose. So here just we are adding one delay, and for TA and TB we are giving 0 input. Then later on after one delay we are adding 1 0. Then again 0 1. Then again 1 1. And then we are doing and then we are doing and 1. So these are the possible inputs. If I am using 2 input AND gates, so there will be 4 possible cases. Like 4 inputs we can give. Here you can see in the next slide. These are the inputs. So these are the conditions basically. Now we have given these conditions and we have instantiated our design into the test bench basically. So this test bench part has been done now. If you want to see how your design and test bench works, let me take you the coding part basically. Okay, so okay, we'll see that part later. First, just understand. Okay, no, let's go to the link. Okay, so I have written this code here itself. Don't worry about this part. This part is basically further things you can see. So just understand, this is our code basically. What I told you is we are going to write a model gate. I have given that link basically there. So I'm not going to explain this part basically. So this is a code for gate level modeling, and I have written few codes for data flow modeling also and for behavioral also. We'll see that part later, but now our focus is this one. So now we have to instantiate this design to test bench part. This is your design basically, and this is your test bench. The test bench is basically same. Whatever we have seen in our previous slides, basically those things are basically same, and design and test bench both are same. You can use the same thing to run anywhere. Like you can, if you are having any simulator, then you can use those things also. If you have any open source, there also you can run the things basically. So they are same. So I'm not going to explain that part basically. Just I'm going to run the things here, and we are going to see what are the outputs basically. Okay, so see, this is the first output which is coming. I would like to say you just okay, leave it. Let me make you a small change here, and then we'll see the outputs basically. Great. So what this monitor will do now, you can understand very clearly. This monitor will just display the values if the signal is changing, whose signals TA, 2B, TB and TY, these signals basically. So see, the value of TA is, now you can see the output, the value of TA is percentile D. Instead of percentile D, it's giving 0. Why? So if for TA, if you want to see the value of TA in decimal format, then you will have to use here percentile D. If you want to see the TA value here in binary format, then you can use percentile B. Those things are called format specifier, we can see later. But you will have to understand this part. If you will use percentile D and then you will give TA here, so the TA value in decimal format will be visible here. Now moving further, the same thing will be displayed, and TB is, and the TB is. Again we are using percentile D. Percentile D, sorry, I'm really sorry. Percentile D. So percentile D for what you are using for TB. So TB value will be 0. Now slash this slash T will see, basically this adds this gap here. So one tab distance it will add here. That part we can see the later basically. Now just we are going to display the value of Ty also. So Ty is percentile D, TA, TB and TY. So percentile sorry, so the value output value will be divided is also 0. So we all know if we are going to give 2 1 at both inputs, if both inputs will be 1, only then your AND gate will produce output 1. Otherwise it will always give you value 0. So here you can see if the TA value is 1 and TB value is 1, then only it's giving the output 1. Otherwise in any case the output we are getting is 0. I hope you understood this part. So now let's remove this slash t and see what happens basically. I have removed and I have given rerun for this code. Now if you'll see the output, you can see here there is a no gap. Like you can see, yeah, everything is close. If we don't use slash t, it won't add that much space, which we can see in the previous example, previous run basically. And here if you'll see there will be no uh, space added here actually basically. So if you want to add space, you can use that thing. If you don't want to use, if you don't want to use that, there is a no need. It depends on you. It won't impact on your code or something, but it will provide you the, basically it will provide you readability kind of thing. You can clearly read the things basically. Now just I want to give you one more example. Basically this is the AND gate, but I am giving you the idea how you can write the code for OR gate, NOT gate, and for other rest of the gates basically. So what I am going to do is, instead of AND, we are going to use OR primitives. I discussed with you the what are the primitives. So there are AND, OR, NOT, XOR, XNOR. These are NAND, NOR. These are the primitives basically. So till now I was using AND gate, so it was behaving as an AND gate. If I will use OR instead of AND, it will work as the AND OR gate. Now, if you are worried about your test bench part, don't worry about that. If you are having 2 input AND gate or 2 input OR gate or 2 input NAND gate, NOT gate, anything with the same input, and so the same test bench you can use for the different codes. So you don't have to worry about the codes. Let's run this code and see what is the exactly output. So I have given rerun, and you can see here it is taking some time, maybe because of internet or something. Just wait. Let's wait what it does. Okay, yeah, it's running, and we have got some input. Perfect. So now you see in what is the property of OR gate? If any input will be 1, the output will be 1. So here you see 0 0, output is 0, but for rest of the things output is 1 1 0, for 0 1, and then for 1 1 you can see the output is 1. So why I have given you this example, I want you guys to work on the AND, OR gate, NOT gate, NAND gate, those parts basically. Whatever primitives are there, you can work on those parts, and test bench will be same. So there is no change if you are having 2 input, any design with 2 inputs, then you can use the same test bench for OR gate, for NAND gate, or for NOT gate. So by using different primitives, we can like write the different designs basically. Here you will have to just make change. Instead of AND you will have to write OR, you will have to write AND. So by doing this you can write your different other codes. So this was just example, and let's move to the previous uh, slides and discuss what we were discussing basically. Okay, so we have discussed design part, then we have discussed uh, test bench part. Okay, so again I will have to recall you. We have 4 way. So I have done this AND gate coding with the gate level model. Now we can code this with the data flow model, behavioral model, even we can do with the switch level model, but generally we don't do with switch level model. So I am not going to give you idea about the switch level, but yes, we are going to see how we can write the code for data flow model and how we can write code for behavioral model. So till this point, if you are having any doubt, you can give me uh, like you can write the comments or something. Okay, if you are having any issue, I'm going to basically you can drop me a comment there. I'll try to reach you out, and I will mention you basically mail ID also. There you can drop your questions, and we can discuss what are your doubts basically. And I would like to tell you, please subscribe my channel, and might be possible you can see different, you can get different things, and this will be very important for you. I will try to give you all the possible videos, all the possible knowledge, whatever I have, and whatever doubts you are having, we will see and we'll discuss those things. So let's move further. Now we have data flow model. Till this point, you will have to understand the test bench part will be same. If you are going to write any design, just you will have to instantiate your design with your test bench. So we have written one design for AND gate and one test bench for AND gate. So we are not going to write multiple test benches for AND gate. Okay, just what we will do is, instead of instead of gate level model, we'll use data flow model, behavioral model, and that design will instantiate into the our same test bench model, and then we can run and we can see how the things are working. So in case of gate level modeling, you can see this part. We have module. We are this is the same way. First we'll write module, then we'll give the module name. We have given here also AND gate, and then we'll terminal this. Whatever terminals are there, we are going to place in that body, a parenthesis basically, and then in the next line we are going to say what are the input signals and what are the output signals, and then this assign keyword. Yeah, now this is the keyword which we use for gate data flow modeling. Sorry, yeah, data flow modeling basically. And here we'll use assign is equal to a and b. This is the symbol of AND gate. So in the next line we are going to simply add AND module. that that is done. There is nothing to do more in this, but I will try to tell you what is assign keyword does actually. This is also keyword in this is a part of Verilog, and it will continuously assign. If there will be any changes in signal A and B, then it will assign to continuously into Y. So this is the symbol of AND gate. Instead of AND gate, this is the AND gate basically. This coding has been done. In gate level modeling, we were using the basically primitives. Now here we won't use primitives. We'll just simply use the logical, how we represent basically logical and logical or logical not or something. Normally we have and or not symbols we use, and then we'll generate the output basically. So um, if you'll see, this is the symbol of AND gate. So this is the way to code any gate into the data flow modeling. Instead of AND symbol, if you use OR symbol, you can write the OR code. If you use NOT symbol, then you can write the design for NOT gate. So this is the same. If you want to use the data flow level, then you can write this in this way. Instead of primitives, we use the assign keyword, and in the output we will assign what we want to assign. So here we are assigning A and B. So if there will be changes in A and B, that will be visible continuously assigned to the Y basically. So there is nothing too much here to discuss. This is a way how you can code. So we have seen there is a one data flow model. Now we have, we have seen this data flow model. We had one gate level model. Now we can see behavioral model, how we can write the behavioral model. So this is the way how we can write the behavioral modeling. Okay, so again we have I have given a module, then module name, and the ports basically. And here we have written input AB and output reg-y. So why we are going to use this reg keyword here? As I said, we'll discuss too much in details in upcoming videos basically. What is the difference between wire, what is the difference between wire and reg, like what are the primitives and everything. We'll see in the next slides, or we'll you can say we'll go and we'll watch videos in the upcoming videos basically. But for time being, I will tell you, reg is a data type. If you want to hold the values of any variable, so there you use reg keyword. Wire, what it does is, this is just a physical connection between the elements. Like if you are having two hardware elements, so it will represent a just physical connection between those elements. So wire acts as a wire, but reg is going to hold the value. So suppose that your output is something that you need, that you want to store somewhere. So because of that, we are going to use output as a res, by which it can hold the value basically. So now see this input AB, and now we have written output res as a y. So this is a behavioral modeling. Now in behavioral modeling, I told you, not in behavioral, but generally I told you that there is a two processes block, initial block and always block. So use of initial block we have already seen in test bench. So I thought I should add this always, and you should understand this always block also a little bit. So here always at the rate A and B. Now this will tell you the changes in A and B. If there will be any changes in A and B, then the A and B assigned to Y. So this is a way how you can code the behavioral uh, modeling basically. There is very much, or you can say there is a lot of difference between the initial and always block. I can tell you right now, but I don't want to go into the deep. If you are going to code anything with behavioral modeling, I would like to tell you, you will have to use this way. We are going to code very small. Right now, I would like to tell you, you just try to code OR gate, NOT gate, NAND gate. These things you try to code. When we'll discuss big circuits, or when we'll be having a good idea of the Verilog constructs basically. So after that we can discuss those things, like what is an initial block, what is always block, how they are different. So one example I would like to tell you, or one difference I would like to tell you, initial block execute once. It will execute once and it will come out the one. That's it. It is not going to execute another time or something. It will execute only once. But always block, it will execute in a looping fashion. So whenever they will change into the A and B, it will always execute y is equal to A and B. So because of that, we have used here always uh, block, and we kept the in the sensitivity list A and B. Basically, these things are called sensitivity list. A and B are placed into the sensitivity list. So sensitivity list is something like if there will be any changes, I the value will be reflected, and or you can say the value will change. So there will be, if there will be changes in A and B, so y is equal to A and B, line number 6, it will always execute. So this was all about the behavioral model. So there is nothing to worry about the what is the behavioral and gate level or something, a data flow level. So if you know about the behavior only, you can write code with the behavior only. If you know the how the data is flowing between the elements, then you can write their data flow modeling. If you want to write the things with the gate level modeling, you can write those things approach. You can write with those things also. So there is nothing like you cannot write any code with data flow or you should always write with behavioral. You can choose any options. So as I told you, there is another way like switch level that we don't use basically to code the things. So because of that, I'm not going to discuss it. It was all about the end gate. How if you are a fresher, then I would like to say you try to understand the things. If you are having any doubts or something, you can drop me comments. Okay, and you can write me mail also. Here I would like to give you the mail ID also. Just give me 1 second. I I'll write here. So website TRA. Hi. So this is my mail ID where you can drop messages, mails, or something. Your doubts if you're having any doubts. This was my first video, and as I promised with you guys, related to Verilog, I'm going to post all the videos related to system Verilog also. I'll try to cover all the things and basic things, not basic things also. It will be more than the basic. Uh, I know there is a huge things in Verilog and system Verilog in UVM. They all are very vast. I cannot give you the all knowledge, but yes, I will give you the knowledge near about 70 to 80%. There will be very advanced topics which I will not cover, but yes, in these videos you can get the all knowledge, whether you are a fresher, whether you are a experienced guy. If you are having any issue, anything, you can write me, or if you want me to make videos on any topic, I can make videos on the particular topics also. I will try to make videos on all topics basically. So from next videos I will be covering my Verilog part. So from the starting we are going to cover what is the modules, what is the different concepts there, and yes, one more thing. If you like my videos, just subscribe my channel, and this this channel I created to keep in mind that I'll try to give you all knowledge and whatever I can. And the guy who are coming from the colleges, they don't have idea. So during the college time, also you can refer my videos from fourth year or third year itself. You can start watching these videos basically, and I'll try to give you the good understanding of Verilog system, Verilog, and UVM. So if you want to make your career in verification engineer domain, try to read the things, and there are different open sources also. You can refer those things also, and you can share these links basically. These channels links you can share your among your friends and all. And yes, in my mind I have this point that I should give you the knowledge of how you can make your career in vericycle. What are the areas of verification? What are the basic areas in VLSI, and what are the different domains in VLSI? But right now I think it has been too much long, so I'm not going to add those things here. But definitely I will try to make one videos. So thank you so much guys. Please like and subscribe my channel.